Hey guys, welcome back, and we have already our first interview of the weekend. This time is used to be the Fight Night EU champion. This time, Frey Bach, how are you doing, my man?
Hello, everyone, and thanks for the interview. I'm fine, thanks. I'm glad to stay here to talk about card games and some stuff.
It's quite interesting. We were talking about the interview as well because you kind of joined the Fight Night EU roster on the last second. It was like, who can participate? And you were like, yeah, I'm here, and you won. Did you expect to actually win after joining last second?
No, totally don't. I was like, I feel, I don't know, maybe a little bit depressed with the ladder this weeks because I climb a lot and I lose a lot of ELP. So I was like, nah. But my friends asked me for join the Five Nights, and I say, well, why not? I it's, it's a good tournament. There are a lot of people, a lot of good players playing it. So yeah, I join it a little bit casually, but well, I won't. When I participate in something, I want to win. I really, it's not like I don't mind if I lose because if I lose versus good players. It's not like I mean losing versus Sergi or Simon or anyone. It's like okay, it's nice losing versus that people, but I want to win.
All right. You have a little bit of a story as a competitor, if I remember correctly, because you were talking as well. Where are you coming from? What are you doing in your life outside of LOR? What are you doing?
Uh, I study. I am engineer. I'm an engineer and I have my own strength group of weightlifting.
Ooh.
Weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding. I don't know, all that stuff. So most of the time, if I'm not playing Runeterra or any other game, I'm trading. Not much more, or with my friends, talking, or I like anime and that kind of things, all the freaky stuff. But yeah, mostly doing something about engineering or or training.
How did you actually pick up lifting? Was it a passion that evolved early on in your life, or was it something that you discovered later?
Oh, uh, a little bit of both. First of all, years ago when I was a child, I really love Superman. I want to look like him. So was the obvious decision. If I want to look like Superman, I have to train really hard. And later in the Rio Olympics, I saw the Olympic weightlifting competition, and I was like, "Damn, this sport is kind of crazy." And just joined, and I've been Olympic weightlifting 5 years now.
Nice. Do you have any medal to your name already? I suppose you do.
Um, In fact, I'm not as competitive in that kind of sport as in like video games or that stuff because I've been injured several times for pushing myself too much. So nah, I don't want to. Well, I participate in tournaments here in Spain, but I'm not really top athlete. No, I'm just more than recreational, but not competitive. Between.
All right, but what is your story in terms of card games? What is your history in terms of card games? What did you play before coming to LR?
Oh, my friends will laugh a lot if I tell this, but for me, Magic the Gathering is the best game ever. So I'm a passionate Magic player. I've been playing Magic since well, I don't know, maybe for 18 years ago. So a lot of years playing Magic. My aunt bought me my first deck, and that's why I like the illustration, the style. I'm I played chess in the past, so it's similar. The strategy, well, you know. So I've been in love with card games all my life. I played Dragon Ball card games, the Warcraft card games, not Hearthstone. Uh, Warcraft got another card game in the past, like very in the past, and I play Hearthstone, of course. And just with Runeterra was like I don't know, got the good things about Magic. The illustration, I love the lore, I love the reaction, the burst speed, and got the good things about Hearthstone. You can play it anywhere. It's I don't know. It's like the perfect game for me. So I've been playing card games all my life, and all combined is like Runeterra.
Nice. Let's go a little bit. We're talking about cards. We are talking about games, so let's combine it together and let's talk about your cards in the games that you won in Fight Night, because you had some interesting decks, something more exotic compared to the other competitors. First and foremost, you've got Viego Ionia, which wants to get the Hydravine as early as possible and just win with that. So how did you bring this deck to the tournament? What was the reasoning behind?
The easiest decision of my life. Viego is kind of cool. Johnny is my best. Is my favorite region. And I like. I want to. I like to play Deny and Will of Johnny in all my decks. It's like my both favorite cards. I like to play blue in Magic, so it's like the blue in Magic is Johnny. So Viego is kind of strong. It's a win condition by himself. You don't need another champion because you have the Hydra. So it's like it's a strong. For me, Shadow Eyes got a problem in this meta. It's like the hard removal, like Revenge, 7 mana. It's a lot of, but Death Mark is nice. 3 mana, you can kill any any card, champion, forward. And combined with the with all your ephemeral mist or the life steal one, it's very strong against all the aggro. You can control the board easily, and in late, definitely you will win. And it's good versus other Viego decks. Will of Jonia is nice, Palm is nice, Deny is pretty good. So I think that this deck is very underrated. It's a strong one. I will probably going into the seasonal with him, probably.
Did you try other Viego builds before you settled on Viego Ionia, or was this just the first one you tried optimizing it and then rolled with it?
Oh no, I try literally Viego with any other region, literally. I tried the best ones was Surima, but the combination Viego Nasus is like too slow for this meta. You are dead when you want to play. It's not like the last meta. And the Viego Freljord is interesting with the Ravine, with the well, you have control board. You can draw the Viego with Entreat. That version is nice, but man, I just love Deny. I can't do. No, I have to play Surima or Jonia, and the other region is just true.
Why do you love so much to play Deny in your decks? Why?
Uh, I want to the when you play Jonia, and now that Will of Jonia is a playable card again, uh, the pressure in the mind of your opponent is always there. Have that deny, not deny. You can play atrocity because deny I lose the game. I don't know, cards, heavy cards like Hydravine, Ruination, other decks. I don't know. It's like the perfect card. I love Nopify too, but in its meta, it's not that good. A lot of birds spells. Severe. I hate that deck. I really, really hate Severe Accent deck. I just want to destroy that deck, and well, works fine for me. I won't.
And how?
The Spirit Refugee is the key to win that deck. Barrier and Life Steal, you won. If you kill, don't mind if he got all his follower with first strike. If you got Spirit Refugee, it's like, okay, I won. You can pop the spell shield very easily with the Vile Fist, the Deathmark. Well, the plate I won was popping the spell shield with Deathmark
Mhm.
Palm. So, nah, it's very easily. They can't do nothing versus Atrocity. In fact, maybe some players play one Deny, one Ionia Deny, Ionia, sorry, Surima Deny. But nah, it's kind of easily one last deck. Sometimes they will want you because okay, they will stomp you with the Ring Runner, most OP card in the meta for sure, with the Merciless Hunter. But now you have a really good chance against that deck. So I don't know. I expect a lot of severe Axan decks, and well,
And this
I
deck
was
is
clearly right.
this deck is kind of making its way towards competitive sim, towards ladder, but how do you actually play the deck? What are you aiming for? What are you mulliganing for? What is your strategy with Viego Ionia?
Uh, okay, nice. Um, me if I okay, let me think about a minute about thinking how to translate all. Okay, versus heavy decks, you keep Viego always. Well, you keep all Viego 99 of the times, but Viego and the 2-drop of Ionia, who reduce the cost of the
Greyblade
heaviest.
Lookout.
Okay, yeah. You keep that card always, and you try to just play Viego when you got Twin Disciplines, Spirit Refugee, or Deny to protect him, and in 1 or 2 turns, Viego is out of control for every control deck. So control is pretty easy for this deck. You use versus aggro. You keep the Bile Fist. You try to keep the Octopus. I don't know, the Scorch and Deathmark. The combo is pretty nice. Maybe you try to keep the 3-drop of Viego, the Cavalry.
Yeah, the Kamavoran soldier.
Yeah. So now it's very intuitive. Depends of the aggro because not all the aggro are the same. This card you have to play very to the early, to the pretty early. Like Bile Fist, you need 2 drops like as hell, or you are dying in 3 turns. But versus other decks like Pirates, you have more time. Uh, the deck is a problem for me is Nap. Nap is a pain, in fact.
Alright, I think we've touched a little bit of every single thing that this deck is doing, but how much power is Hydravine providing to the deck? Because you can get those crazy turns if you let it out of control. It just keeps swarming the board. So how much of a priority is for your opponent to remove it or finish the game fast?
Well, Hydra is the best card in the deck. I'm pretty sure. Viego, of course, is the champion. But Hydra is like half version, so it's very aggressive. You don't mind attack with her because you got twin disciplines, you got barriers. So she herself put a lot of pressure, give you blockers, free attackers, and every turn is a countdown because in a moment it's like, okay, I will either will put a mist and I will atrocity to your face and you will die. So most of the times, if your opponent didn't kill the Hydra in one of two turns, the game is really over. Well, you lose versus, of course, Karma Israel and that kind of stuff, combo in general. This deck sucks versus Karma. You have really low possibilities to win. But versus all the other decks, you're fine, and the Hydra is mostly of the time better than Viego because you want to put Hydra first to keep buffing Viego, and I don't know. I never played Viego as a 5/4 if I have no other play, of course. But you try Viego with 7/6, maybe 8/7, making him not vulnerable to burst. So Hydra is I'm in love with that card. I want to make her prismatic as soon as possible.
And now that we've talked about the specific details from the deck, what does this deck love to face? What did you want to face when you brought the deck? And what does this deck struggle a little bit against?
I want to face aggro in general. I have a lot of heal. I want to face Sivir. It's not that Sivir is not that good, but you can face her. In general, you are good versus Lurk because you can counter the fucking Pike. I hate him the most. It's like Lurk is not OP deck. Okay, it's a fine deck, but Pike is. Oh, don't make me talk. You're good versus I don't know discard pirates, all kind of that. Other Viego decks. You have problems with sometimes Aetherirelia. Sometimes you can win easily, but if you have a heavy hand, the bones destroy you totally. And you have problems versus Snap because you are not faster. You are not a fast deck. If they evolve Sejuani, you lost basically. And they always can nab you some deny, that kind of stuff. And you lose, of course, versus Karma. Pretty heavy. I didn't expect any Karma in the finite, of course, so you lose versus Karma. Versus Lee Axon is easy. Versus Lee Zoe is not that easy. You have a lot of possibilities to lose.
Why?
Well, they play the Knight too. He can protect very easily the Lee Sin versus the Deathmark. The only way you got to kill Lee Sin is the Deathmark, in fact. So you always can use Glimpse from Beyond to sacrifice your own allies to don't lose by OTK Lee. And maybe they didn't expect the Will of Ionia, so you can win by Will of Ionia. The current version of Lee Sin didn't play Bastion, and you can try to win by that way, but it's hard. In fact, it's hard. And you put zero pressure in early. Sometimes it's hard to kill the Zoe, and if they evolve Zoe, you lose.
Yeah, I mean Zoe is such a value engine in any deck that she sees play, because even if she hits once on that third, she already generates the value, her job is done. She can die, but the value that she can generate with another, with a cool super cool star chart, you have access to much options. But let's move forward from this deck, which fairly loses to the Targon version of Lee, and let's move forward to a fan favorite in the last metas, and now it's making a comeback. It's TF Swain. Why did we bring TF Swain back from the grave?
I think it's a meta call. It's not a good deck. I said Swain Gamplan, TF Gamplan is probably better in any way. Dreadway is better than Leviathan, Gamplan is better than Swain. But a friend of mine is in love with Swain, to honor him, I want to play Swain. And the deck in particular has a lot of removal, can clear the board easily. The make it rain for 2 mana is kind of crazy with all the keks. And the Twisted Fate with a red card. You can stun a lot of unities with the Arak, with the spiders and the strength itself. And most important, you pop a spell shield easily. You need to pop a spell shield easily to kill that zero and the Ring Rider. So it's a deck that destroy really hard the Sewer deck. Now the Sewer deck is playing 3 Ghost and 3 Spirit Refugee, and it's a problem. But in general, the ladder list is easiest to win. Versus Lurk, Discard Aggro, Pirates, it's a good deck. You have a lot of removal. They don't have any opportunity to remove Leviathan, so you put Leviathan in them and you won immediately. So I think it's a meta call. Probably 2 weeks in the future, the deck will be useless again. Probably.
I know there's a little bit of debate regarding, do you want to play Noxian Fervor in this deck? Do you not want to play Noxian Fervor in this deck? Your version is not running any Noxian Fervor. Why is that?
Oh, Noxian Fervor? No, 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 no. First of all, Noxian Fervor is too much face card for me, for that deck. This deck is more control than Go Face. No, Noxian, the new Arpun, the you know
The Monster
the Arpun.
Harpoon?
Yeah, it's like the better removal. I just run one because of I expect a lot of aggro, so I don't need a lot of Harpoons. But I think Harpoon is better than Noxian Fervor in this meta. So no, Noxian Fervor is not for me. I mean, maybe if I played Gamplan, because you put much more keks, so Noxian Fervor with the keg it has more synergy, but no with this version. No, and I don't want to sacrifice my own units most of the time. I want my units to trade the enemy units to make him damage. No, so no. Not for me, the Noxian Fervor.
And then again, why did we bring this deck? What do we want to face and we are good into? And what are we struggling into?
You want to face aggro, discard, pirates, probably a lurk, that kind of decks. Maybe Jarvan Sen. All the decks. Well, Lulu Jinx is pretty popular right now. Severe decks. You don't maybe Overwhelm is a good matchup for you. Well, if versus Overwhelm, you need the Scorched Earth, but it's a good matchup. And you have problems with Raving Israel. Pharaoh is a problem for you. And the Triving. You lose versus Lee Sin, of course. and you lose versus Karma again. But you lose versus Viego Ionia. Nah, but you lose versus heavy control, and you won versus aggro every mid range decks. Yeah, to
I
be
understand. But now, thinking about the lineup in the lineup strategy, we brought one control heavy deck in Viego Ionia, and then we brought TF Swain, which is not necessarily control, it's more like a mid range deck that can go aggressive if you need, it can go control if you need. So, what was the lineup strategy actually for Fight Night?
the line and the strategy was. I really enjoy to play that decks. I will bring that decks. No, I didn't think about it too much. I know everyone will play aggro. It's strong. It's the meta. It's easy to play. It's okay. So I want decks good versus aggro and fun for me. So I didn't think about it too much. Uh, yeah, just that. In fact,
Alright, so
I didn't think about it.
you just got invited. Last moment, you brought two decks that you enjoy and you won. Easy enough.
Yeah.
But did anyone actually help you prepare for the tournament? Did you practice with anyone with these decks, or was it just pure ladder?
No, just pure leather because in Spain, some of the Spanish player we got a group Discord.
Mm-hmm.
In Discord, and we practice a lot there with, for me, the best players in Spain, like Sergi. For me, Sergi is the best player, Spanish player. And Sharp, Cidis4, Raxitos, uh, other Latin players, Arax, uh, Magikarp. So we practice and we talk there about decks, but for this final, no. I just play ladder. I climb to 400 LP, 400 LP with Swain. I lose all the LP playing other decks. I climb again with the Viego Ionia, and I say, okay, both decks can looks good enough for me.
Alright, and we are nearing the end of the interview, and we have a tradition. If you had only one thing that you could tell to the audience as an ending thought, which one would that be?
Okay, that's hard. It don't mind if you are a competitive player or a recreation player. You have to see Runeterra as a game, and you have to enjoy it, and you have to be to work on your mental, not for health, and for to prepare to be better. You can be a good player or a competitive player if your mental sucks. And most of the people say, well, if you don't worry about losing, you're not a competitive player. Dude, if you lose one game and you are if you're tired and you dislike the game for 2 weeks, you're not a really good player. You need to practice every day, and you have to play every game as a single game. No matter what happened before, no matter what will happen in the future, you have to play the game by game. So I think that is important, and enjoy the game. It's a nice game, so not more, I think.
Nice, that is a nice ending thought, especially for the competitive players because we're going to have seasonals very soon and we're going to have the first worlds very soon. And you are already a player that played in quite a few seasonals, and maybe we're going to see you into the worlds as well. Who knows?
I hope I am in the I am I don't know. I am in the list of players who are qualified for the worlds for the moment. I got a lot of seasonal points, so yeah. If I do a good seasonal, the next one, I will be qualified for worlds for sure.
and we're looking forward to see you in Words. But that's it, guys. This is the end of the interview, but not the end of the series because there's more to come. It's just the first of this week. So stay tuned, guys. See you next time.